I don't know who needs to hear this, but you do not need to learn every lesson yourself. I'm 29 and I had this epiphany a couple of weeks ago. It took me this long. I am by nature a very stubborn person, and for most of my life I believe that when I had like a gut feeling, like an instinctual thing, it was always correct. You know, they always say like, you know, go with your gut feeling because it's always the right thing to do. Right thing to do and best option for you are not necessarily the same thing. I am a big believer in going with your gut, but if someone is trying to tell you that they've experienced what you're about to go through and they're telling you that there are better ways of doing something, it really doesn't hurt to listen. I found this out through ending up being buried alive at 5 o'clock in the morning in the middle of nowhere in the freezing cold. It was of course for my music video. Please do click the link down below because I really did get pretty buried alive. I knew that I wanted to have a music video with this kind of narrative of my body being dragged through the woods and me being buried alive and coming back to life. I've wanted that narrative for a video for a very long time. I originally wanted to do a video for my song Burn the Witch off my debut album, but for many reasons I've talked about before, it didn't happen. So I wanted to turn that into an idea that I could actualize for my new song Brutus. And with this new album in mind, unlike with the first album, I've been trying to keep budgets more healthy, as it were. So I knew that I was going to be working with a small crew. It was myself, my partner Davey, who helped produce everything that you see in the video. It all happened because of his organisation, his planning. There was the video director Lars Wickett and his first AD Harry. That was it, just 4 of us. I knew I wanted to keep the budget really small for this video. In fact, it's the most economical music video that I've done, which I'm very proud of. But I was very insistent that I wanted to keep the budget low. Whilst Davey was organising everything and finding the location, which ended up being a farmer's field that he managed to get through a contact, he was looking at the more practical, realistic things to do with this video, and he said to me, like, this is going to be hard, you know that. This is going to be tough to finish with just 4 of us. But me, being me, I thought if there's a way of doing it, we'll figure it out. You know, you're not saying it can't be done, you're saying it'll be difficult. It won't be that difficult. It's not gonna be that hard being buried alive at 5 o'clock in the morning. So the day of the video shoot rolls around and the director and Davey, they've been on site since like 9 o'clock in the morning, digging a grave. You know, I hadn't really taken into consideration how much work it was going to be for everyone else. I get on site about 9 p.m. By this point, I mean, I arrive on site and it's like -1 degrees. And I start to realize that this might have been a bit ambitious. Because it's so low budget, we didn't have heaters. We didn't have any sort of trailers or anything like that. We just had my car, which you see in the video. I thought ahead. I bought some hypothermia blankets, which we never ended up using because by the time we got shooting, we just wanted to get this video finished. And as the video shoot went on and we were ticking off like more and more shots that we were getting, it felt like there were times where I kept thinking like how much more we had to go. And I started feeling so guilty. I was like, oh my God, we're not even like a quarter of the way through this. It gets to midnight, then 1 a.m., then 2 a.m. It only gets colder and colder. We've saved the worst part of the shoot until last because obviously it is the most grueling part. Now in my head, when I was thinking about this video, I was just like, it's not gonna be that hard, it's just gonna be cool, you know, just coming out of the soil. That might have been fine if we shot it in like July or August, but this was a very cold April morning and everyone on site is already shivering. And it wasn't until I lay down in this makeshift grave and I'm being filmed having soil on a shovel shoveled onto my chest, the weight of this cold, wet soil hitting me, where I realized, you know what, it's okay to trust other people. If they have more knowledge than you, it's okay to listen to their advice and take their advice. You're not this big know-it-all that you think you are. We wrapped the shoot at 6:30 in the morning. And then obviously there's all the packing down of all the equipment. Now there were a few things I could have done to have made that whole thing easier. Could have spent a bit more money. And I mean, it wouldn't have taken a ton more money to make it a lot more comfortable. We could have had more people on set to make the, you know, transitions between shots quicker. Could have invested in some heaters because we had generators on site. There are quite a few things that we could have done differently, and it was because the decisions were down to me ultimately. I'm really, really proud of the video. It's my favorite video we've ever done, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work in a farmer's field at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it didn't necessarily have to be as difficult for everyone as it was. if I just listened a bit more. So that's my advice for this video. You can listen to other people. You might not always be completely correct. And it's all well and good coming up with a music video where you're buried alive from the comfort of your own home. But if you haven't been buried alive before, I wouldn't recommend it. Take my advice, please. You don't always have to learn the lesson yourself. If other people know more about something than you do, just take their advice, listen to them. Obviously, like, it's still down to you to make up your own mind, but there's usually a reason that people who are looking out for you say certain things. You'd be surprised at how many people who care about you would just give out advice willy-nilly for the fun of it. Usually they're looking out for you, and I realized this in my makeshift grave. Thank you so much for watching. Speaking of my song Brutus, there is a new vilified mix out on all DSPs, all streaming platforms, or anywhere that you buy your music digitally. It's a more haunting, stripped back, intimidating version of the song, and you can really pick out some of the really cool synth parts in it. I hope you enjoy it. I'll leave a link down below. I'm not sure how long these daily videos are going to continue, because at the minute I'm starting to feel not burned out, not burned out. There's still a few things that I want to talk about, but I woke up this morning thinking, what am I gonna do? So if they're every couple of days, so be it, but I'm not just gonna disappear on you. I promise, I've been really enjoying myself. Until next time guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I shall catch you later.